Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Amy Van Ling, and it is with heartfelt gratitude, deep love, and much purpose that I serve this beloved community as spiritual director. We welcome you into our community, our spiritual community, where we invite you to take a dive, a deep dive, a drop maybe into this space where you can feel your heart center, feel your truth, allow yourself to be bathed in the warm embrace of our community, where you are loved and accepted and encouraged to be you, to shine the light that you came to shine, and know that you are a spark of divinity. And we like to remind you of that on Sunday mornings when you tune in with us. And if you are visiting us for the first time, whether it's later on YouTube or here on the live stream, we are so glad that you are here with us. Check out our website for ways to connect. Our website, if you're watching on YouTube, is right below the video. The link is below. So we welcome you in. We'd love to hear from you. Our theme this month has been inner balance. And this morning I had to sort of do a double take, like, oh, we are still in April. It's a long month. It's 5 Sundays. So we're still talking about inner balance this month. And I think we've all heard that old adage, change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change, or something along those lines. And when we're thinking about our theme for the year, being in the presence, living in the presence means letting go of our attachment to how we think life should be and open up to that mystery of what actually is. And inner balance then is found in not in, molding, manipulating, and fixing, but in seeing ourselves as we are, and that it's not something to force, right? It's just something we remember to return to. And yeah, so balance isn't about perfection, too. I like to remind myself that sometimes. It's just about participation, not perfection, participation in the flow, just being in the flow um, of spirit. Yeah, moment by moment, whatever that looks like. So thank you for participating with us this morning and exploring the topics of the month and the year. And we're going to dive deeper into all of this today with our dear beloved friend, Savannah Noelle. And she is going to help us take this deep dive into the transformative power of showing up. And I am so grateful for this beautiful soul to be with us. And she's taking time out from a weekend retreat to be with us. So thank you so much. She's full of light and has that beautiful glow, because retreats do that, help with that. And we're so grateful that you said yes and are here with us this morning. There will not be a workshop today. However, the community connection link will be open. So if you want to pop in there after service, and somebody else might be in there too, to chat and just sort of explore over the talk. Sometimes we have to do that after one of our morning messages, like, we really need to dive into this. So that link will be open for you. Thank you so much, Savannah, for saying yes and for being with us and showing up for us as you always do in your fullness and your beauty. We are grateful. Of course. Tremendously grateful. We also have the incredible, inspiring Kalyani Marsh gracing us. She is absolutely gracing us with her gift. And her gift is this musical gift that is so precious. And we're so grateful when you show up for us, because you bring such a peaceful, glorious essence that transforms our space. So thank you very much for saying yes and tuning in. We also have, many of you know, our beautiful, bright Pat McCulley. She is a member of our community and she is a beam of light. And she is here to share our selected inspirational reading this morning, some community announcements, and our prayer of plenitude. And we are so deeply grateful for you, Pat. Thank you for saying yes to us and always showing up. Yes, this dream team on the screen, these are shower uppers. So I'm glad to get into this topic today because Savannah knows well about this and she's going to take us into this really rich conversation. So thank you all who tuning in with us on Facebook live stream for committing your energy, for coming together to activate the high vibration of community, of love. We are indeed many of us coming together to allow the unfoldment of inspiration and wisdom and aliveness to be experienced. So thank you, thank you. Welcome into our sacred space. When you arrive here, leave us a comment in the chat because we love to hear from you and know that you are here and with us. Yay, we have Luinda's here. She says, good morning, everyone. Jennifer's here. Oh, congratulations. Yes, I have a new grandson, my first grandson. Kathy says, good morning. Karen says, good morning, all. Yay, Savannah's tuned in on the live stream. Carol's here. She says, good morning. I'm finally here. I am not feeling well and may just rest and listen. I am sharing this in case I don't share as many notes. That is perfectly fine. We love you and we bless you. Thank you for being here. Florence says, good morning, everyone. Welcome in, sweethearts, sweet souls. We are so grateful to be together. We are going to take a moment to attune to our mission statement. So I invite you to just feel into the moment, feel into the essence, the intention, the vibration of our mission, which is fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. And we are so grateful to be doing this together. Thank you for tuning in with us and tuning within for you. We are going to begin with our community song. So I'm going to hand the screen over to Kalyani right now, and she is going to take us away. Thank you, beloved.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your your descriptions, Amy. And I'm so happy you used the word precious because this song, I'm hoping everyone can sing along with this song. I'm calling it Inviting the Sacred. And, what does that mean? What could it mean? Preciousness also. So introducing this idea. And inviting the sacred, and then seeing all as sacred, and then you are precious and sacred, and then I am precious and sacred, and then inviting the sacred. So it's sort of repetitive, but I hope you choose to sing along. Inviting the sacred. We're going to repeat that. I am. Inviting the sacred. Sung a little differently this time. I am. Inviting the sacred. Repeat that. I am. Inviting the sacred. Inviting the sacred. Inviting the sacred. Seeing all is sacred. I am. 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 Seeing all seeing all the sacred, seeing all the sacred. You are. You are, you are, you are precious and sacred. You are, you are, you are precious and sacred. You are, you are, you are precious and sacred. You are, you are, you are precious and sacred. Precious and sacred. Precious and sacred. I am. I am, I am, I am. Guess what? Precious and sacred. I am, I am, I am. Precious and sacred. I am, I am, I am. Precious and sacred. I am, I am, I am precious and sacred. Precious and sacred. Precious and sacred. I am, I am, I am inviting the sacred. I am, I am, I am inviting the sacred. I am, I am, I am inviting the sacred. I am, I am, I am inviting the sacred. Inviting the sacred. Inviting the sacred. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful and perfect. Perfect to start our morning. So grateful for you. Okay, Pat, I'm going to hand the screen over to you. Pat has our inspirational reading and announcements for us today. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kalyani, very much. And hello to all of you here now and those visiting us later on the recording. So here are a few announcements for today. We invite you to join us after the service. Oh, we're not having a workshop, right? Oh, so we're going to cancel that announcement. Okay, on to number 2. Remember to mark your calendars for our in-person service coming up next Sunday, May 4th at the Antioch Community Center as we welcome back Father Tom Bonacci. See you all in person next Sunday. Bring your recyclables and also your food and donations for loaves and fishes. A huge shout out of thanks to those who organized, orchestrated, implemented, and cleaned up the giant yard sale, which took place a week ago, Friday and Saturday. Without Dave Johnson, Nancy Pimentel, Jan Knight, Kelly Turner, and Paul Turner, this event would not have been possible. Thanks also to Sonia, Florent, Sheila, Luinda, Dave, Kathy, Pat, and Byron for helping out with pricing and keeping things flowing. It was a major undertaking, and we were very successful. Thank you to all who took the time to be a part of this enormous project. Also, please call Nancy or Jan if you know of any group or organization that needs chairs, as we have many of our red chairs still available. We are looking for someone in our community interested in the healing arts to organize an in-person monthly healing night, which will begin later this spring. Please contact Jan or me to find out more about this great opportunity. Monthly meandering for April is a wonderful spring concert. The Trilogy Choral Concert, April 29th and 30th, right here in Brentwood at Trilogy at the Vineyards. The link to buy tickets is vineyardsingers.org. That's VINEYARDSINGERS.org. Or you may contact me, Pat McCulley, for details if you would like to attend with a group from our community. We invite you to stay connected with all that is going on here at Unity Inspired Living by checking in on our website, unityinspiredliving.org, and our Facebook page, Unity Inspired Living, and also reading our weekly connection, which comes to you email weekly on Wednesdays. And now for our inspirational reading. This is the last week of our inner balance in April. And here are some of my thoughts. And the title is The Houses We Build, Values, Resistance, and Inner Balance. 2 weeks ago, Dr. Luskin mentioned Jesus's teaching of resist not evil as a key to inner balance. This morning, I'm going to a children's story as a parable of inner balance. We are very familiar with the story of the 3 little pigs. Well, perhaps, unless you are as old as I am and read the book in the 1940s, you possibly never saw the version before Disney changed it. I see the message of the 3 little pigs as a parable of the energy of our values and resist not evil. The wolf represents evil in the story and is trying to get into the pigs' houses. If one looks inside each of the houses in the version before Disney, there is a picture on the wall in each one. The pictures represent what the pigs valued. The value the pigs hold, not what the roofs of the houses are made of, is what protects them or doesn't protect them from evil. On the wall of the first pig was a picture of himself with big muscles, winning a contest for being strong. The wolf got in. The little pig ran away. The physical did not protect him from the wolf. On the wall of the second pig was himself with bags of money. The wolf got in. The second little pig ran away. Money did not protect him from the wolf. On the wall of the third little pig was a picture of himself. Put this right up here. With family. picture of himself with family, other pigs. This is the place Disney significantly changed the story, perhaps about cruelty to animals. In the Disney version, the wolf didn't get in the last house, but ran away. In the 1940s version, the wolf did get in, because even though the pig valued others, people cannot protect you from evil. However, the third little pig resisted not evil, was not fearful, but thinking clearly, knowing the only way the wolf could get in was down the chimney, he set up a pot of boiling water there. The wolf came down and was killed. And as the three little pigs gathered in the last house, they ate the wolf. Now remember, this is a symbolic story, and the symbolism of eating the evil wolf is internally accepting, which resulted in inner balance of living and freedom for the little pigs. In summary, what the parable of the three little pigs teaches us about the high vibration of inner balance. Number one is directly related to your values. Is your value vibration higher than what you can see with your outer senses? And number two, resist not anything you might consider evil or bad, and instead accept it and find a creative solution to deal with it. This interpretation of the Three Little Pigs story is taken from the book Finding the Lost Universal Principles. The Three Little Pigs Unlock the Door. Thank you.
Wow, Pat, that was great. I love that. We appreciate you. Thank you for the announcements. Thank you for the story. That was very insightful. We're grateful. Wow. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to Kalyani. She has some more music for us. Thank you, dear.
I love that transmuting the wolf theme, you know, as it's in us, it's all a reflection of then how do we embrace it? It's coming up for our attention. Obviously, it is. I love that. So I'm going to share with you again the Aramaic Ave Maria with, can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm sorry, everyone's frozen. Okay. So that is when the Archangel Gabriel came to Mary and said, "Peace be with you, Mary. You have everything you need. You are blessed in perfect ripeness." You have, the translation in Aramaic was, "Peace be with you, Mary. You are complete in blessed ripeness. There is light within and all around you, expanding without limit," which is who we are. Blessed are you along with all of humanity, not just blessed are you among women. I don't know where that came from, but the actual translation is, "Blessed are you along with all of humanity, and you are a blessing and we are blessed." So we can sing this as a greeting from our soul, to know that we're receiving this message from the source. Don't worry, we've got you, you are supported. So Shlama, which is shalom, Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama, peace be with you. Malit Taibukta Maranamki, light is within and all around you. Barita Binasha, we are a blessing and we are blessed. And we're going to do an English version also of that. Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama, Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha Shramalaki Mariam Shramalaki Mariam Shrama Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace, peace, peace be with us. Light is within and all around us. Light is within and all around us. Light is within and all around us. We are a blessing and we are blessed. We are a blessing and we are blessed. Shramalaki Mariam Shramalaki Mariam Shrama Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha Varita Vinasha. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace, peace, peace be with us. Light is within and all around us. Light is within and all around us. Light is within and all around us. We are a blessing and we are blessed. We are a blessing and we are blessed. Shramalaki Mariam Shramalaki Mariam Shramalaki Mariam Shlama. Amen.
Wow, that was so beautiful and such a good
That is a
reminder. Okay, go ahead.
That's a Neil Douglas Klotz melody. He's a Aramaic scholar, and I just wanted to give him credit for that. It's beautiful.
It's incredible. It
Thank
is
you.
incredible. And, just that reminder that we're blessed and we're the blessing. Sometimes that gets forgotten in the mix of life, that you are the
Absolutely.
blessing. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to hand the screen back over to Pat. And lots of love coming through the live stream for the reading and the music. And thank you both for what you're bringing to our space this morning. Pat, I'm going to hand the screen back over to you for our prosperity blessing. Thank you.
Thank you. Kalyani, that was beautiful. I just had the thought this morning as it was kind of drizzly here that no matter if it's kind of drizzly in your life or whatever, the sun is always shining. Okay, let's take a few deep breaths. I invite you now to join me as we move into a space of oneness with spirit. We quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. We connect with an inner stillness that is grounded in the divine flow of giving and receiving. We practice gratitude for all that life gives us and accept there is more coming our way. We align and operate from our divine nature to give freely from a compassionate heart to ourselves and others, assured we are never void. We set our intention to engage in right action that attracts opportunities to prosper. We are each a very grateful spirit, expanding in this human life. We are gratefully succeeding in stepping forward into greater good. And so it is.
Thank you, Pat, for your heart. Thank you for your essence. We're grateful for you bringing us into that space. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen back to Kalyani. She has our final song this morning. Thank you, beloved.
All right. Thank you so much. What was that? Expanding into life? What was that? I can't remember what you said. It was something. This life is just expanding as it is presented to us. It's an opportunity for expansion, and there was an expanding
in this
life.
human
I think you said
life.
something like that. And that kind of leads. Say it again.
Expanding in this human
You froze.
life.
This human life.
And also stepping forward into greater good.
Okay. Yeah, that's lovely. This is a new song, and I was listening to a talk, and she said, "You are a living testament." And I thought, that's right. We don't need to read books anymore. We are a living testament to our consciousness, right? And our choices that we make. And so I just kind of ran with that, and this song came up, and then it ends with the line, "We are the new earth. We are the humble power of the great," which came from a I Ching hexagram that I got. We are the new earth, riding the waves carried higher, higher, higher. This is the game I came to play. This This is the life I came to live. This is the adventure that I chose to be having. And I can feel it in my bones, taste it in my heart. There's so much more to who I am. I am a living testament. Testament, taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. I am a living testament. Testament, taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. There is a reason why we came. We all have a purpose. Let the old version die and let it burn. Can you feel it in your bones? Taste it in your heart. See when the smoke is clearing, we will rise. We are a living testament. Testament, taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. We are a living testament. Testament, taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. This is the game I came to trust. This is the life I came to live. This is the adventure that I choose to be having. I can feel it in my bones, taste it in my heart. There's so much more to who we are. We are a living testament. Testament. We are taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. One more time. We are a living testament. Testament. We are taking it to the next level, taking it to the next level. We are the new earth. We are the humble power of the great. We new riding the waves, carried higher, 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 higher. We are the new. We are the humble power of the great. We are the new. Riding the waves, carried higher, 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 higher. We are the new.
Hmm. So beautiful. Jennifer says, thank you, Kellyanne, for sharing your beautiful gift with all of us. It is always a blessing to embrace your vibration of love. I think she speaks for all of us. Thank you. And so much
So
love, Pat. Luminda says, thank you, Pat, for your beautiful and loving message. Thank you both for bringing your divine spirits here to shine brightly for us this morning and just activate this space with so much joy and love and pieces of you, which we're
I
so
thank all
grateful
of you
for.
for gathering.
Thank you.
Lots
Thank
of
you
love.
for
Bye.
saying yes and being with us. Okay, we are going to move into our amazing, beautiful Savannah Noel. She has our message for us this morning, the transformative power of showing up. And we are so grateful, Savannah. I am going to hand the screen over to you because I'm watching our clock and I want to honor time. And I know you're at a retreat. So I'm going to
Yeah.
hand it right over to you and you can take us away. Thank you,
Awesome.
beloved.
Thanks, Amy. Oh my goodness. So this is a new experience for me. I've given talks in many, many different places, but I don't think I've ever done it from a living room at a retreat. So, you know what? It's my talk today is called The Transformative Power of Showing Up, and that is, I would say, probably the hardest step sometimes of showing up to our lives. And I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me. Um, I want to start with uh, just this question to all of you because I can't see you. It's so different when you're on a stage and you've got a room filled with people. You can see people's expressions and all of that. And I know you're there. And the question I want to ask you is, did you know that one of the number one fears of people is actually public speaking? And I was told years ago, and I probably have to do a little more research on this, but I heard that Barbara Streisand, who is so incredible, that she stopped touring years ago because she has this insane amount of stage fright. And you know, I find it fascinating because she's such an incredible artist and musician, and she has this amazing gift. And when she gets on stage, she comes so alive, and her presence is so powerful, and yet she's terrified every time she does it. And you know, people have asked me over the years, when I take a stage or do something like this, where I'm basically speaking to you all on a screen and I can't see you, do I get stage frights? Do I get nervous? And there's always this energy of what I would call initially anxiety and fear. And no matter how many times I've done it, it never goes away. And yet, it's also the same energy and energetic as excitement and really wanting to step into the fullness of who I am. And so it's always this practice of getting there quicker. So moving the fear into that power. And so I start with that because in everything that we do, with every beginning, it requires that we show up to our life. And with every ending, whether we're ready for it or not, is a new beginning. And it requires us starting over, starting again. So think for a moment to an aspect or a part of your life as it is now, and what area where you feel like you're starting something new, or you're starting over. Maybe it's a new project or a new relationship, or maybe you are in a new phase of your life or taking on a new job. It could be you're going through a loss of some sort, a breakup, a divorce, or you're just really seeking more out of life and you don't know, where do I begin? Where do I begin this new creative project? Uh, you might even have your children have left home. Maybe you're an empty nester, they've left for college, or they're growing up way too fast, and you're having to re-identify your beingness and who you are in the world as a new iteration of yourself. And so the question that may come up for you is, you know, how do I start this thing? How do I start over? How do I begin again and trust that everything is for me and not against me? How do I look at what's going on in the world right now, in this country, and trust on some level that everything is working for our good? It's a question that many of us at this retreat, I'm at a spiritual retreat this weekend, and it's something that we're all looking at, of this quickening that feels is happening, of requiring what I would call, you know, light workers and people who are wanting to evolve and grow and to become the more. And it's what is it asking of us at this time, when everything is chaotic and uncertain, when everything feels like it's pressing in on our nervous system, you know? And I think of life as though we are having to reframe all the time. We're having to start over all the time. And the challenge is that I think a lot of people are walking through the world without a clear vision, without clarity of what it is that they really want. And so we find ourselves in this state of survival. It's like going through the motions, and we forget that we have agency, that we have purpose, that we have vision. And some people would say they don't even know what that is. They don't even know what their purpose or vision is. One of the things that I've been working on lately is how do I balance life's challenges and everyday struggles with this vision of that is pulling my life forward, that it's pulling me towards being and becoming something greater to give my gifts away. And so I've really had to ask myself questions about where my motivation is coming from. You know, where is my motivation coming from to create and to pursue and to adventure and to serve and to make an impact? Do I serve from ego? Do I serve from the need for stability? Do I serve to make a difference and an impact? And how do I balance all of that? How do I want to leave the world a better place and space when I leave it? And so it brings us back into these beginnings. You know, we want to know before we start something and before we jump into it that it's going to work out. And we want to know the end that is in sight before we take the leap. But the first step of anything we do is we have to show up. Like, we've got to show up. I have been letting people know recently that I started a podcast. And it's interesting because I've dreamed of it for many years, and I had this idea in my brain of like how it was supposed to look, and all the pieces had to be together. And the cool thing is that all the resources, all the elements, all of it's there for me to do it. But the question is, why haven't I launched it? And a lot of it is because I've wanted it to be in this perfect little bow. I've wanted it to be like a really hard launch, not a soft launch. I wanted to go in strong, you know, and all the pieces had to be in their perfect places. And then I realized after, you know, many months of, I took a hiatus from it. I stopped recording um, like 6 months ago. And I have been wondering, like, what is that saboteur in me? Like, what is the reason I stopped this? There's this resistance to showing up to the very thing that I am so passionate about doing. A lot of it is, you know, my own fears around perfection and failure. And in this process, consistency is important. So I remember when I first started this project, I was driving over to the studio because I have a friend who was like, "Oh yeah, you can use my studio. Great. There's a blessing right there, right?" And as I was driving over, I had all my first episode notes prepared, and I was driving in the rain, and all of these fears started to come up. And I was like, "What am I doing? I should just go back home." There was all of this resistance. I got to the studio and I sat in front of that microphone. And the funniest part is that my entire first episode was all about the power of starting over and the power of showing up. And here I was sitting here in front of this microphone, resisting the very thing I was talking about. But I did it anyways, and it wasn't perfect. And it gave me a lot of practice. And now I'm finally back in the studio and I've released my first episode on my own Substack. And it's not how I envisioned that it was going to be, but it happened so organically and it just felt perfect and right that I'm like, you know what? I don't have to release the entire 10 episodes. I can release them at my leisure. I can release them when it feels right to me, right? And so every new beginning requires us to show up to life, to the thing, to the hard conversation, to the person or the situation that needs our attention. It means that we show up to the mat, we show up to that yoga or workout class, we show up to therapy, you know, or that appointment. It means showing up to that audition or that presentation at work that took you weeks to finish. It means showing up to that first date, hoping that you make a good impression and fully being authentically you. And yet it's so hard for us to let go of the outcomes and the attachments of what we think it should look like for us to be successful, to be happy, to feel complete. I want certainty. I want to know what's next. I want things easy and I want to figure them out, but they are not yet. We want to leap and step into our purpose and our passion and finally, you know, say no to the job that isn't aligned for us. I know I've been there 1,000 times of like, why am I in this job? It's not fully aligned. Or we want to finally say no to that friend, that toxic friend who overshares. And we finally want to say no to that unavailable person in our life that we keep going back to and we keep going on, you know, we keep repeating the cycle in every relationship. We want to finally say no because we mean no. We want to finally pursue the dream and have this figured out plan for the future. And we want to know that it's going to work out in this certain way. And we want to know that when we leap, the net is going to appear. And when I jump off that plane, the parachute is going to open. And one of the important things that I'm discovering is that the net does not appear without the courageous leap. We have to take the courageous leap, and we don't get to know every single step along the path. One of my favorite influencers, Mark Groves, he started a social media page called Create the Love, and he says this. He says it's through the act of bravery and becoming something you've never been that actually creates the outcome. This is what it means to surrender to something greater than you are. This is what it means to allow life to happen through you, not as though you're in full control or even by you. That evidence of yourself being something you've never been is actually what you're looking for. That's the discomfort. This is where we grow. I also would call it like the gap space. It's the gap space that many of us have been living in where we don't know where we're going. Like, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't even have a map, especially right now. And it's pretty dark in there sometimes. But we keep observing, we keep staying curious and awake, we stay open, we stay conscious, and we allow ourselves to move through these experiences. And sometimes life is just calling us to surrender. It's calling us to let go. It's asking us to become the more and getting out of our own way. I have to tell you, like the number of people at this retreat who their thing is, for many of us, is just getting out of our own way, just stopping the excuses and the reasons why we feel buried or overwhelmed or anxious, getting out of our own way and pursuing the thing that we deeply desire. And one of the beautiful things I think about our teaching is that we have these spiritual tools and these technologies to use if we really step into using them. And visioning is one of those tools that I love so much. Visioning, you can go and research it, and I'm not going to talk in depth about it, but visioning is one of those tools where we allow life to inform us by just staying open and receiving without our conscious rational brain needing to step in. It's one of those things where we are in such a listening state, and we put out a set of questions, what is the highest and best vision for this project or for my life or for my financial freedom or for my health or whatever it is. And we open ourselves up to getting a download, to actually having something drop in. And what's beautiful about that process is that the ego is just over here. It allows you to dream again. It allows you to get into this space of spaciousness and of expansion. And last April, I remember I was in a funk and I wasn't in the best space because I had been unemployed for a really long time, and I was finally getting back on my feet. And I was like, okay, where is my ministry going? What am I doing? And so I had a friend of mine said, Savannah, why don't you start a visioning group and have them vision for you, for your ministry, for your path for the next 6 weeks? And it was nerve-wracking because it meant that I had to show up. It meant that I had to ask for help. And it also meant that I was willing to receive all of the love and the gift of people giving me their time. And so I sent out an email to everyone that I wanted to be on this team, and 11 people showed up. And they showed up for 6 weeks, and it blew my mind. I cried every single session, just in awe of the fact that people wanted to show up for me, that people wanted and cared about that. And what was so beautiful about it is that we created our own little community that people then were inspired to go vision for their own lives. It was this like igniter of this spark within their own lives of, oh, I want to go and vision for my life now. And then I took all of our notes after they had sent me all of them, and I put them in Chat GBT. And I don't remember what I asked. It was something about, synthesize this, and give me the themes for the next 6 months of what my ministry could look like with all of these ideas. And what came out of that was so incredible. I was amazed at how smart Chat GPT is, of just looking at this, like, wow. And it gave me the template for all of it. So then the question was, well, am I going to show up to this? Am I going to show up to it? And you allow your community to support you in the vision that you want for your life. And you can vision on anything and then watch the vision start to shape your life. One other interesting story. About a year and a half ago, I was asked to speak at a conference in Big Sky, Montana. And I remember I had 9 months to prepare this talk. And this was a talk for an hour and 45 minutes. And it was the longest request of a talk that I've ever been asked to give. And I thought this might as well just be a workshop. They also asked me to do a 45-minute presentation as well, and then a shared 45-minute presentation. So I had my work cut out for me. And I remember when I wrote the notes to this talk, it was one of those things where it was like a stream of consciousness. I wrote 9 pages of notes for this. It just came out of me. But what came out of me was a lot of vulnerability, a lot of my doubts and fears about the New Thought organization in general. And I was worried because I thought, oh my gosh, if I go in there and say what is on this page, I might get some criticism. I might disparage the organization. It might go well for me. And so I remember the day of the speaking, I called my mom, and mom is always one of my biggest cheerleaders. And I said, Mom, I'm scared to give this talk. Like I'm the keynote speaker, and I'm having all of this self-doubt. I'm thinking, is this going to land? I've had anxiety for days. It's not popular opinion. Why am I doing this? It was all of this self-talk of who are you to do this? What if you make people angry? Why did they choose me? I'm not going to be talking about rainbows and butterflies and, all of the pretty things. I'm going to be talking about discomfort and where, as an organization, I think we're headed and what's possible. And she said, Savannah, if you could just touch one person, then you will have made a difference. She's like, just show up and just do your thing. And so I did. And I started singing. The first thing I did was just start singing. And people started crying. And all of a sudden, as it started to unfold in the whole session, I looked around and people were sharing, they were crying. It was so meaningful. And the question that I asked them was, what is the dream that is in your heart that you are most afraid of pursuing or that you are sabotaging? And they all got up and shared, workshop style. And I was stunned. I was so shocked because I had all of this story about how it wasn't going to land and self-doubt and all of that stuff. And I had all these excuses around how it was going to land. And it was actually quite beautiful. It was powerful. And I gave it away. And there was no attachment to how it had to look because I had already given up the idea that it was going to be good. I was, so I just showed up. And if you think about whatever it is that you're starting or beginning or pursuing, you want to think about what are the things that are stopping you? What are the excuses? The excuses could be, well, it's not going to be perfect. So you show up anyway. I'm afraid it's going to fail. We show up anyway. I'm really tired. We show up anyway. I don't have the time. Well, we make the time and we show up anyway. For me, it was, I'm not sure people are going to like what I have to say, or they're not going to like me. And the thing that I've had to remember is that we're not doing it for people to like it. You're doing it to give away your gift. And our gifts are meant to be given away. And so it's in the giving of that, in the doing it, and in that discomfort where we're actually being seen. And so we show up anyway, even in the mess, even when it's not perfect. That podcast isn't perfect. I don't have the whole thing, planned out yet. And we show up anyway, even when we don't have it figured out, especially when we don't have it figured out. Because the thing that's so powerful is that you don't know what you're showing up in that mess is actually going to give or provide or bring to someone else's life. You have no idea how it's going to help somebody else. And some of the most powerful talks, and I'm sure many of you know this because I've been with you guys for a while, some of the most powerful talks I've ever given in my life are the ones I was most afraid to give. And they were always the most vulnerable. And of course, I'm not going to bleed all over you, all over my congregation if I haven't really worked through something, but it means that we speak from the truest place that we can. that conference, the way that it ended was at the end of that workshop thing that I did, there was a woman standing in the back of the room, and she happened to be a former Olympian, and she was probably in her uh, mid 70s. And I asked her, you know, what is the dream that has been in your heart that you are most afraid to do or that you're sabotaging? And she said, I want to do what you do. My whole life, I've wanted to speak on stage and I've wanted to get up in front of people and I've wanted to do what you do. And in that split second moment decision that I made, totally improvised, I said, "Oh, okay, come on." And I grabbed her and I took her to the front of the room and everybody burst into applause. And she was like, "No, no, 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 no." And I was like, "You're going to show up in your fear." And so she walked up to the front of the room and I said, and of course she was terrified. Her knees, you know, she was shaking. And I put my hand on her back and I said, "You can do this. Like, what is it that you really want to say?" And she took the microphone and she shared from her heart and she shared again from the truest place that she knew. And I slowly started to walk away to give her her moment. And when she was finished, it erupted in applause and standing ovation. It was beautiful. It was like, you know, she had the courage. And so that's what it is. It's the courage. It's being brave. It's stepping into our discomfort. It's leaning into the uncertainty and into the unknown. And it's leaning into the ambiguity of life and trusting that there's something on the other side that's going to catch us. And I think that's the fear is we think there isn't. And it's through inspired and aligned action that this starts to happen, which is why it is so important we get clear on our purpose. I want to kind of wind down here with this thought uh, of this book that I've been reading. It's called The Wintering, and it's called The Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times. And what I love about this book is that it invites the reader to see the cyclical nature of life and that life is not linear, that there are times of great productivity and praise and movement, and then there's the harvest. There's times that are dark and fallow and quiet and inward and reflective. And that fertile soil of the darkness is where we're resting and listening, most especially when life has been hard for us. And culturally, right now, I think it's been really hard for us. We have trouble making room for those fallow times. And it means that we can still show up in those fallow times, but we might have to be the space keeper, the observer, the witness. There's something that we're meant to learn and understand in those fallow times. In those times of darkness, sometimes it requires us to do less and to just be. And showing up to our lives, as Brene Brown loves to say it, is we have to be in the arena of our lives. And it means vulnerability and moving beyond our comfort zone or who we thought that we even were. And so there's this saying that getting on your mat is half the battle. And so I say to you, get on the mat. Get out of bed and show up to the day, even when it's hard. Intend the kind of day that you want to have and go to sleep uh, with this practice of thoughts that went well that day and what you're grateful for. We take the baby step and we take that one step and we ask the universe, what is my next and right perfect step for my becoming? And we start there. We start the book, we start writing. I started a Substack and you know, it's growing, it's wonderful. I don't know where it's going to go, but you just start it. You call the friend when you need support. You take that cleansing breath and you say to yourself, it's all going to be okay because it already is okay. And we show up to the next thing and the next thing, and we give ourselves grace when we don't know how, and when we don't know what the next thing looks like because we trust that life knows how to do life. You might even start up a visioning practice. You know, we've got to just remember to breathe and to know that what is beautiful about starting over is that we can no longer stay hostage to where we were in the past if we are conscious and if we are willing to grow. And if we're wanting to take that leap, then we have to know and we have to trust that the net is going to appear. You know, if you think about what are the miner in the caves who have the light here on their faces, they can only see a certain distance before them, right? They can't see the entire path in the cave, right? It's the same idea. So the last thing I'll say here is that the difference, I think, between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people take leaps and risks. They do the hard thing. They have the hard conversations and they show up anyway, even if they fall on their faces. And it takes courage. But the reward is so much more. And so we got to believe in ourselves. And the affirmation that I want to leave you with, and you might just say this to yourself. Normally, I'd have you repeat it after me, but just say this to yourself is that I believe in myself. I believe in my purpose. I believe I have power, and I believe in you. And so we set our eyes and we set our sights beyond the horizon, and we align our intentions with the future that we ultimately desire. And so with that, we can all say, and so it is. Amen. Thank you so much.
And so it is. Ashe.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, beautiful. Wow, that was so important to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just do that out loud. What is the word that's just right there? What just comes right out because that's usually the perfect. So important for us to hear. How do I balance life challenges with my purpose? You said that at
Mhm.
the beginning. Allow life to inform us. Open ourselves up to getting a download. And I think that's a really important point because I think a lot of times we get so heady and so busy that we aren't this empty cup saying like what is ready to pour in because we're trying to like create it all and make it happen and organize and figure it out
Yeah,
instead of allowing like what is. And that's important to remember. I love how you talked about your visioning group and the people that showed up for that. And something important you talked about was being willing to receive.
hmm
And I have found that that has been one of the most transformational pieces of my life is being able to receive. And I think a lot of times, I'm going to sort of stereotype here, but a lot of times in spiritual community or community, you get a lot of people that are very empathic because it lends to that type of a personality. And so a lot of times when people are very empathic, um, they want to give. They're givers. They forget to slow down and receive.
Yeah.
So that's
And
another important.
well, and
Mhm.
remember, I think that was the big part of it is like having a God squad or whatever you want to call them, your cheerleaders who hold the truth about how they see you and what they see for your life when you can't see it. And I think that was the gift for me too. Not just the words, but the fact that all these people were willing to show up for me. Yeah.
Right. And that's an important piece of community or creating, forming the communities around you and supportive of you that will hold that space
Yeah.
in those times. That's just speaks to how important connection is. I think there's sometimes some confusion these days about just relationally about our humanity and being sort of like in isolation to heal and heal by yourself and stuff like that. And I really just don't align with that because I think we're human, so we need connection, and that's where we heal and we grow in that connection with other humans. I mean, yes, of course we have to do our inner work and our you know figure that part out, but really in community in relationship is where huge transformations occur. And so allowing that's creating the space, then allowing the space for people to show up for you. That's big.
Totally.
That's big. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Um, yeah, you said, showing up sort of in the discomfort, even in the mess, because you have no idea how just showing up in that moment can impact someone's life.
Yep.
Um,
Especially in the mess.
especially in the mess. Yeah. You just never know. Like the time I think you spoke to this, the times you've shared something that was uncomfortable, you weren't really sure, like, should I just go here? And that was the most impactful. I remember sharing things before that in the moment, I was like, it doesn't seem relevant, but something's nudging me. And then later on, hearing feedback like that was really important to share. And that's why I had that nudge, and
Yeah.
really listening to that, going back to, to what you said, just sort of being open and not only willing to receive from others, but receive from God, with the download, the gift, the blessing, whatever is coming your way, because we can miss it. What is the story about the guy who's, I don't know, it was like the God sending all these things, and he keeps saying, I'm waiting for God to send me a sign. It's like, well, you've had this in the raft, and I think it's trying to save him, save
Right,
him
right.
some way. It's like there are lots of things here and we can miss it. So,
Well, and also
um,
I think that what I didn't realize is that in the sharing of the thing I was most afraid to say, after saying it, multiple people came up to me and said, I have been feeling the same way. It was like a confirmation that I wasn't the only one who had these thoughts, that people
right.
were also experiencing it, but they were too afraid to say it themselves. So in that sense, it was like, oh, that's where I had to trust my intuition, that
Yes.
it needed
And
to be
you got the download. It's almost like a collective, right? So like you're
said.
getting the message, it's in the collective. Yeah, very, very important.
It was a big
Oh,
lesson. It was a lesson of trusting myself. Like trusting yourself to just show up to the thing, even when it's hard and even if it's scary, because you don't know how it's going to transform your life.
mhm.
That's the
Yes.
that's the rock bottom message, I think.
I love it. Yes, I love the rock bottom message. Yeah, getting on your mat is half the battle. I like that.
Yeah.
It's true. Just getting yourself there, showing up. What did you say? Good question. What to ask? What is my next perfect step for my becoming? Really asking those, I call them, empowering questions, or, informative questions that inform your truth, versus, questions that might keep you in a loop, stuck loop. The blaming questions, even blaming yourself questions that people could get into. So instead of asking more of those expansive questions to propel
Mhm.
something new to enter. Carol says, beautiful message, Savannah. Um, we are doing it. Give our gift away. Speak from the truest place we can. Yes, thank you, Carol. Um, oop, let me go back here because I know there's more messages coming in, and I'm going to scroll back. Luenda says, having courage and releasing fear. Sometimes beautiful things happen when we take a chance. Kathy says, thank you, Savannah and Kalyani. Wonderful talk. Oh, are we going out of order here? Well, yes, we're grateful for the music. Wonderful message. We are all capable of so much. Bob says, I believe in my purpose. Yes, I affirm. Nan says, thank you, Savannah. Inspiring reminder. Bob says, thanks. Pat says, it took courage for me to share the Three Little Pigs story. Thank you for doing that,
Yeah.
Pat. Jennifer says, thank you so much, Savannah, for sharing the real deal of your experiences. I can relate very well to much of what you shared, remembering how important it is to trust our inner spark and passion and then courageously acting on it, letting go of the worries and keep coming back to aligning with my true self, my divine self. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kathy says, I'd really like to know what the thing was you were afraid to say, Savannah. I think you said it, no? Or was
No,
it
I mean,
something?
no, it was just really, I mean, to sum it up, just that being in this organization for the last 20 something years and seeing that we're not growing, that we're kind of shrinking. And I'm tired of talking about it. I I would like to find ways for the organization to expand beyond the walls of our centers and out into the global community. And so it was much more of the micro and the macro and my experience in it. So yeah, hopefully that's enough context.
Yes, I remember these conversations too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're still
Uh,
happening. I mean, it's still
yeah.
happening, but
Well,
yeah.
it's an ongoing exploration, and I think that's the key, is that we stay curious And that is, not, and that is to say, we're not in judgment. We're not in making sort of like accusations or judgments. It's just saying in curiosity, like
Hmm.
it's a whole different vibration. Uh, yeah. And I think, you said, no longer staying hostage to our past, kind of in staying in that momentum of curiosity, like, well, what next? What is there? What am I maybe not seeing? Because, I've been kind of here, and opening for expansion of what is next. And I think you said something to the effect of like, I don't know, and I'm not there yet, and I'm allowing.
Yeah, I don't have a map.
I don't have a map. Yeah, but it's all going to be okay because it's already okay. And I think that's really ultimately such trust. It's funny, I was in a dance workshop yesterday, and the first thing that the instructor was this, big traveling dance guy from all over, very, popular. I didn't know him because I'm kind of new, a dancer, but the first exercise he had everybody do is get into a pair and just, do that whole fallback trust thing. So here we are for thinking we're going to learn, footwork or styling or something. And he's like, fall back, into the partner behind you. And he said something to the back, like, I want to see who has trust issues. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. But yeah, and I remember kind of laughing because I just fell back in the partner. And I said, whoa, and I said, well, the worst I could do is die, and I'm not worried about when you don't fear that. Oh, but yeah, that was trust, trust
Yeah,
is a big word, because then we're asking like, what do we trust in? And yeah,
yeah.
faith. And
Well,
so that whole
um,
allowing, go ahead.
Carol asked what the name of the book was that I mentioned. The
Oh,
name of the book
yeah.
is called Wintering.
Mhm.
It's really good. I forget who it's by, but though it's called The
The
Wintering, the
wintering.
power of rest and retreat in difficult times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And such an important message there, because I think sometimes when we go through that sort of being the seed buried period, whatever you call that, we tend to think something is maybe wrong, or
Hmm.
we're not, we're not showing up. But if you are showing up during that wintering, like you're showing up and you're just being prepared, right? You're just all preparation for your purpose, is how I like to look at it. Michael J says, your message is filled with divine resources in so many ways. Blessings, beloved.
Sweet.
Yes. Well, I love that. And that's the perfect way, I think, for us to wrap up here and say, thank you so much, Savannah. We're so grateful for you showing up in the midst of your retreat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
If those of you watching think of somebody who would like this message, who could really, use this message or touch their heart, remember to share, post it on your Facebook page or share it through YouTube link, however you do that. That's what we like to do here. Share. We like to touch people locally and beyond, out into everywhere. And it takes all of us for that. So thank you very, very much. Um, yes, so thank you. We're going to wrap it up with our prayer of divine awakening, which I am going to share on our screen right now. And I invite you to, there it is, speak it out loud. Make this a declaration for your day, for your life, and really, truly embody. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with life's events. I am receptive to source energy, divine guidance, and wisdom available to me at all times. I commit to serve unconditional love fully and completely. I move forward in a state of appreciation and extension of the one magnificent power and presence. I am sovereign, whole, and free, claiming dominion over my life as I go in peace and awaken to my divinity. And so it is. Blessings, beloveds. Shine on, bright ones. Next week is in person in Antioch. So we will still be on Facebook Live, though. Thank you so much, Savannah. We are so grateful for you.
I love you guys.
Blessings. We love
Bye.
you. Goodbye, everybody.